Holly Resnick is a professional singer. She's a jazz club owner. She's a mother of four, and perhaps her most interesting accolade, she is a self-proclaimed Gen-Expert. Let's start with that. What makes you the expert, Holly?
Well, hello, good morning. Well, it's morning. It's 5 a.m. here, so I don't know about the good part, but
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
yeah, I woke up like this. No, I didn't. So Gen Expert, really, you guys, I got to be on a national show as a lifestyle reporter for years. A national show, and I was an it mom. And so I got to have a segment for moms. Basically, life after baby only gets better, but chase your dreams, face your fears, model that for your children. Don't just expect them to do it if you're not showing them how. So, that was a hoot. But now that all my kids are kind of in their 20s and I'm close to empty nest, I think I needed to rebrand. So lifestyle expert, sure. But Gen expert, yeah, that's me all the way.
Well, I
I'm
totally
just
hear
old.
you. No, I mean, well, 50s these days is like, I mean,
It's the new 30s.
it is like the new 35, right? I mean, I'm going to stick with that. But I totally hear what you're saying. I only have one at home and one who came back actually after college. But it is
They
a
do
total,
that.
they do. And I actually love it
More and
right now
more.
because the empty nest was a little sad. And
Yeah.
it is crazy how fast everything goes and how these stages of your life are just over before you know it.
It's true. And you're left wondering, who am I now? Who am I now that I'm not a wife or a mother or, all these things. And we're having to not recreate ourselves, but really find out who we are, what we like, and what we want our future to be. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
All right, your future. Talk about
My
dating
future.
over 50. Not easy for anybody, I imagine. Tell us about your experience, Holly.
Yeah, so unfortunately, my story is a bit dramatic in that 16 years ago, my husband, father of my four kids, passed away, and he died in a plane crash. So it was very sudden. There was a lot of trauma that followed those days and years. So dating was not anything I thought of for very many years. And then, even if I wanted to date at that point, the kids were the squeaky wheels, and I needed to be there for them as a priority and not add anybody else into the mix. But like I said, now that, the kids are all kind of okay and on their own, it's time to maybe start thinking about dating. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying for a lot of Gen Xers who find themselves single at this age and never thought they would be.
Yeah, I hope my wife never leaves because I can't imagine navigating the dating world. What are the biggest challenges, like when it comes to apps and how you date now as opposed to the way it worked 30, 20 years ago?
Right, exactly. Everything has changed so much from when we were in our 20s and like looking for a spouse to start a family with. And Gen Xers, we don't love the apps. The apps feel really forced and weird, and technology isn't our first language. We're still learning that. And so I have a few tips for everybody if you're thinking about, I think I might be ready. I might be ready to jump back in there into the dating pool, which, think of these as your floaties to help you keep your head above water. Okay. So I would say one of the first things you should do when you think you're ready is date yourself. You really need to be comfortable with who you are. Find out who you are outside of being a mom and a mother, and a wife. So who are you now? You're not the same person you were when you're 20. What do you like? What do you want your future to be? Spend time with yourself. So if you're comfortable with yourself, you're going to attract people that will add to your peace and your joy rather than distract you or take that away from you. And then I would say, for online dating, it's overwhelming. We've all heard the horror stories. I could tell you guys some offline. Um, but I think of it this way. So think of the apps like when you go to the mall. You don't have to go in every shop. You can just browse. And if you make a spontaneous purchase that you regret, you can take it back. And if it's damaged, you can return it. So think of the apps like in a lighthearted way where you're just meeting new people that you wouldn't normally meet, but you don't even have to put date in there. You're just using them as a tool to meet new people. Okay. So that's number two. And I'm looking at my notes, you guys, because Gen Xers have brain fog. It's real. Okay.
What about meeting
I'm
people in person? Are there things you can do if you're
Yeah.
app averse? How do you get out there and find people that you could maybe strike up a relationship with?
That's a great question, and I actually think that's the best way. It's the best way for me is just meeting someone in the authentic, natural, organic way. And a good way to do that is what are you? Yeah, like a tire. A good way to do that is just what are your passions? I mean, are you a hiker? No. Do you like wine? Yes. So find people that have similar interests and go do events where you could meet people with similar interests as you or passions as you, and then maybe you'll meet people that you hit it off with. So I always think that just, natural organic ways are the best ways, and the apps can be, if you can't stir anything up on your own, try the apps, I guess.
And how big of a
Um,
factor is it that your kids like the people? I mean, now you have these adults in your life, right, that are also giving you
yes.
advice.
That's so true. And it's terrifying because of the whole cougar thing out there. Sometimes my kids' friends are like out and they're like, Mrs. Resnick, is that you? And I'm like, oh gosh, why are you at at the dance club? Just kidding. I don't go to dance clubs. But I think it's really cool when your kids become adults because they see you as a human more, not just mom. And so my kids, at least at this point, they want me to find love again, and it is important to get their input. They're going to have to, you know they're going to have to like my kids, and my kids are going to have to like them. So but it's always, wait till you like them enough before you introduce them to your kids or even bring them into the conversation. um, Kids can sometimes scare them away.
Holly Resnick, we appreciate you giving us these tips, and maybe don't go anywhere because we want to hear some of the dating horror stories offline, maybe in the break.